Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Emotional Eating with Marilyn, a podcast where we talk all reasons why we eat, why we go to food, although we're not hungry, and where I teach you how to understand and see and take control of your emotional eating. In today's episode, we're talking about self awareness. It's number 4 of the self series where we spoke about self love, self confidence, self talk, and today is self awareness. I feel the self awareness is like the highest level. It's one of those very simple but difficult things. In today's episode, you're going to understand what self awareness is, how it's linked to emotional eating, and how to work on it to reduce emotional eating. How is linked to emotional eating? Well, basically, you know what? Let me start with what it is. What is self-awareness? Self-awareness is knowing and seeing and understanding yourself, is remembering yourself, self-remembering, which is basically when I'm talking to people, I understand myself. I'm not hijacked. I'm not like in another zone. When I do a task, I'm in that task. I'm not like it's like almost connecting your body to your brain, to your mind. It's all one connected. We're not dissociating our heads somewhere, our body somewhere, and things like that. And why it's linked to emotional eating? Well, many of you say it. That's how I experience it, but I'm sure that a lot of you have experienced it. Is that when we do emotional eating, very often we feel it's not even us. You know, it's we've been haunted by someone else. It's not us that's doing this behavior. So let's say you work a lot on your self awareness. It will reduce emotional eating in two ways. Way number one is that you're going to be more and more aware of your stress level and life's challenges and everything, your internal stress cup, if you want, so that you don't let it flow and explode. And this is when we go to food. We say usually when our well-being is below 40%, this is when we go to food as emotional eating. But many of us, we don't even we're not even aware of what's the level of our well-being. So this is the first way. The other way is that if you arrive to a point where you have to do emotional eating, life's too stressful, like it's too much, totally fine. I always say emotional eating is neither good nor bad. It's here to help you. If you want to work on it, I'm here. So let's say you are in that situation, at least if you do the emotional eating with self-awareness, very linked to mindfulness, I'll talk about it. At least you will enjoy the food a bit better, you will eat slowlier, etc., which overall will make the session of emotional eating smaller. So you'll eat less. And also, you won't enter this vicious cycle where you do emotional eating or binge or whatever, and then you restrict, and then you start again the cycle, like this loop that's like non-ending. So this is what I want to talk about today. And as you noticed, self-awareness is one of those simple but difficult things. Simple because I was able to explain to you in 2 seconds. You've seen it's not that hard to explain. But difficult is because day after day after day to do it at work with life challenges, family challenges, peer pressure, all of those, it's hard. It's really hard. So it's one of those things when you understand the concept, it opens your mind to an like deeper understanding. And then you do it first, you will do it together, we'll work on it. But then when you're going to get to the real life, quote unquote, you're going to have those tools and you work on them. And this is when the real growth will happen. Okay. So I'm going to give you a different way to boost your self-awareness. And I'm going to give different things because I know different people like different like techniques. So it's not one size fits all. I'm going to give things around journaling, meditation, and mindfulness. It's not meditation, it's more mindfulness. I'll tell you what I mean by it. We're also going to talk about other things like posing, like understanding the wheel of emotions, our own emotions, our body sensations. And also I'll give you a very powerful tool is really understanding ourselves by the way we talk about others. Stay till the end. I'll explain what it is. Let's start with the journaling. Journaling is a very powerful way to understand what you're feeling because it has been proven, it has been shown that when you write, it takes a lot of time, not a lot of time. It takes more time to write than to think. So just writing will slow down your thought processes because the thoughts have to follow the writing, and you kind of organize your emotions, your feelings, your thoughts, and everything. So it makes it really really beneficial. And also at the same time, what's really useful is that it organizes your thoughts. Like you organize it, and when you're organizing it and you're saying it or writing them, you're realizing maybe I'm catastrophizing, maybe that doesn't make sense, maybe I'm only seeing one scenario out of all the options and things like that. So how do you do journals? There's a few options of journaling. There's the free journaling. You just buy a piece of paper, you write it. Some people prefer to do it on the phone, but this has been proven that if you write, it takes, as I say, more time, so it's better for the brain brain writing connection, if you want, in that way. But you do you. The important thing is to find things that actually you can sustain and you can do, that you enjoy, because the more you enjoy, the more you will do, and the more you will do, the more you're gonna see progress in yourself. So just choose what you want. You can do journaling, you can like on your phone, you can do a white piece of paper. There's the gratitude journals and everything. I find them useful. I've done many of them because it pushes me to be more grateful. But also at the same time, sometimes I feel that they don't help me really direct my thoughts or think about things that are bothering me. If you've been following me for a while now, you know that I've created the positive journal on emotional eating. I have a full episode on this, so I'm not going to talk about it, which is basically 6 cycles. Every cycle is 2 weeks, and every day it's just one page. Especially if you're new to journaling and you're not sure, where we link our level of well-being, or if you look at it the other way, our stress level, to how much we've eaten. We try to understand why we've eaten, and try to be very compassionate with ourselves, because the idea is that if you're more compassionate with ourselves, the urge to go to food will decrease. So this is for those of you that love journaling, that feel that I've seen something online where someone is all red. It's like a meme. Someone all red, and the red represents the stress. And as they write, the red or the stress gets transferred into the paper. So it's like cleansing yourself. If journaling is not what you want, or it's not the only thing that you want and you want more things, then we have the mindfulness one. This is also something online that's a bit, some people are like, oh, stop talking to me, like it's not for me. I just explain how to do it for those that really like, you don't really love it. You don't have to do it. I'm going to give you other ideas. But meditation versus mindfulness. Meditation is like really thinking of something deeply, or not thinking of anything, like being on your breath and everything. You can meditate in the park while walking. You can meditate in the sea or whatever. It doesn't have to be sitting, mindfulness is basically being mindful. And if we link it to self-awareness, you're aware of yourself now. So for example, a lot of people that eat, whether it's emotional eating or not, you're doing something else at the same time. I'm the first to do it. That's why it resonates so much with me. Like on your phone, thinking of next thing, sometimes even ordering like the supermarket for next time. So we're not really being mindful of what we're doing. Same for like stress levels, and why it's important for stress level, because if we're not mindful of the stress level that go up, as I said at the beginning, we will go and eat and binge because it's going to be too much, and when it's too much we eat. How to be more mindful of our emotions, of our of ourselves in general, of our how much energy we have left in our reservoir. It's basically just taking a few pauses. It's taking a few pauses in like every day. Let's say you have a long day at work, you can put reminders. Let's say you have a long day and you know you're going to be all over the place. It's people are going to talk to you. It's too much. Or let's say you're going to go back to your home family, which sometimes it might be triggering. You won't have time for yourself, etc. You can put a reminder for, let's say, every not 5 hours. Let's say every 2 hours, of five, and then when the reminder or the phone rings, you take 5 minutes to take a deep breath. You can go, let's say, in the toilet, in a silent room. If you're at work, in like a meeting room or something, just breathe in, breathe out, spend time on your breath, and spend time to ask yourself questions like, what am I feeling now? What do I need? And you know what? You can write those questions in your phone so that when your phone rings, you can go and check them. What am I feeling? What do I need? And how full is my cup of stress? So these are questions. But proper mindfulness, like sitting mindfully, like meditating, is like you sit You can, I'm sure, find things online like mindfulness practice. You can put like 5-10 minutes mindfulness practice on YouTube, for example. You sit and you imagine yourself as different parts. You have your the current parts, the stressed and everything. You have other more gentle and compassionate parts, but the most important one is you have an external observer. It's as if you have a camera outside of you, and this camera is not judgmental. That's the most important thing, because if the camera judges us, or if we have the external observer that judges us, it's not being mindful, it's not being nice to ourselves. It's not going to help with emotional eating or decrease stress. It's actually going to increase stress. Just like looking at me from the outside. First time might be so weird, might not work or something, but it's something to continue and to practice. And if you've done meditation or visualization in the past, uh, then this having an external observer might be very useful. Some people like to put a name to this external observer. I feel it's more me looking at myself from the outside. It's like my higher self, if you want. It's like the self that's not like in the petty human, emotions. Not the emotions. I don't want to say that emotions are petty, but human pettiness. We all do it. I always do it. But then there is another part of me that's more like noble, if you want, and looking at me from the outside. Noble doesn't mean judging, because if they're noble, they're not judging. Okay, so journaling, meditation, and mindfulness, posing, as I said, it was within the mindfulness. You can do it a posing that's less mindful if you want. You can pose, put a reminder as well, and go. Let's say you're at work, really, really stressed, or with family and very stressed. You take a pause and you go for a walk outside if you can. Let's say if you have a 5-minute walk. Sometimes it's hard to do it, especially if we are people that are watching us or something. You can go to the toilet, take 5 minutes. You can just like take a call, quote unquote, like a call, and you put some music and you go for a 5 minutes walk. So things like that, just posing and looking at the situation, like resetting with yourself, realigning yourself. Because very often when we're not self-aware, it's because something was stressful, and when something's stressful, like we dissociate. And then a few things before I go to the interesting thing about what we say about others. One really interesting thing is the wheel of emotion. If you don't know what you're feeling, so it's in my journal, the wheel of emotion, but you can also Google it. So I have my own variation. I'll show it to you actually for those that are looking at the podcast. So this is the wheel of emotion, or you can Google it, and it will list all the emotions that a human is supposed to feel or can feel, not supposed to, can feel. Um, and then you can ask yourself, which one am I feeling now? And it will really improve your self-awareness, because you might think, okay, I'm stressed. Stressed is a very general word. It doesn't really mean anything. What does it mean? I'm stressed. But under stress, it could mean I feel anxious, I feel scared, I feel lonely, and I don't like to be lonely. It could be like all those things to really understand, or tired. Sometimes you're tired. And something that I really discovered recently that I loved is that there are few types of being tired. There's the physical fatigue, physical tiredness, if you want. What requires is for you to go and sleep or to rest physically. But then there's the emotional or the nervous fatigue, which requires you, for example, to go connect with nature, be in silence. If your senses were too affected, if you're very sensitive to sound or to visual things, so maybe our nervous system is tired. And then sleeping might help, but actually maybe going to a park, caressing a pet might help. So understanding what you're feeling, and also understanding what our body's feeling, because words sometimes help. Sometimes with some people, they say, I don't connect with words, I connect more with my body sensations. Like, am I feeling tense in the shoulders? Do I have sweaty palms? Do I have something in my stomach, it's tight? So all those things can actually help you to understand what you're feeling, to reconnect with yourself, to be more aware of us and our body. And once we're more aware of those things, you'll notice, like, without any effort, you're going to find solutions of what to do, and those solutions are actually the ones that are replenishing you and decreasing the urge to go to food. Food, very often we use it to replenish ourselves, but the thing is that it doesn't work, or it doesn't work for a long time. So this is it. So just to recap the things we discussed: so journaling, meditation, mindfulness, posing, understand the wheel of emotions and our body sensations. The last one I feel is really useful, and it's but it's hard to hear, so just be ready. Like, it's not nice to hear, but when I noticed it, when I like read about it, it actually changed my life. It's not those things that change our life in 1 second, it's things that change your life with time, which is when I criticize someone or when I complain about something from someone, it actually says more about me than about them. So for example, if you say to someone, "Oh, they're always late," it means that either you are always late, or you're very bothered with being late, or you don't allow yourself to be late, and things like that. Or, "Oh, this person is always stressed out, I really don't like it." Maybe it says something about them, definitely, but maybe it says something about you, and how do you don't you know you don't accept and you don't welcome your stress. And then when you see this in someone else, it bothers you. It could be things like if you say or you complain internally, or verbally or in your head, about someone's eating behavior. They eat too much, not enough, or something. Maybe it means that, are you being nice to the way you eat? Do you allow yourself to do it for yourself, or they're bringing things in you that you don't like? So slowly and slowly, when you criticize or you complain about someone, just ask yourself, what does it mean? What does it mean for me? There's the book, The Joy of Tidying Up, by Marie Kondo, and she says that when we complain to our, like, let's say we live with someone and we complain to them that they're being really cluttery, like they have a lot of clutter and stuff. Very often it shows that we have a lot of stuff and clutter that we need to start with our own, and then it decreases. And I noticed this so much for myself. A lot of things like that. If so, we say to this, you're not listening to me. Ask yourself, are you listening to yourself? And this is like the deepest level of self-awareness. It's not always pleasant, because we see things in ourselves that we don't like. But the more you do it, the more you feel, okay, I see things in myself that I don't like, but it doesn't mean I don't love myself. Then you can go back to the previous episode, self-love. But you will understand yourself at a deep level. It's something, if something bothers you in others, it means it bothers you in yourself. This again is a practice and the highest level of awareness. So that was it for today. Again, as I say, it's a simple but difficult things. It's like you got everything you needed now, from the learning, from the theory. Now what you need to do is to go in real life and practice. So hopefully you took few notes in what I said in the overall, in the podcast. So let me give you actually like a summary of why it's linked to emotional eating. Self-awareness is linked to emotional eating, because if we're not aware of ourselves, our stress and everything, we will go more to food. If we're not aware of our emotions, because they're so unconscious, like, and we want to shut them down, we're going to go to food. What to do to boost self-awareness? Depending on what you like, you can journal, you can meditate, or do some mindfulness. You can understand what you're feeling with the wheel of emotion, either in my journal or as well elsewhere. Actually, I put the link of my journal if you want to get it, in the show notes. Understand what my body's feeling, and taking poses. So if you know you're going to have a difficult day or a stressful day, a full on day, just put few reminders to take poses. And also try to understand, if I complain about something, about someone, ask myself, can I put a mirror and just complain about myself about the same thing? Like, would it work? Would it make sense? I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And I would really, really love it, as I said at the beginning, if you can leave a 5-star review in my podcast. I'll put everything in the show notes. So my Instagram and my TikTok, I'm really trying to do an effort here to spread the message, because a lot of people that I meet face to face tell me that they all, like, it's something that everyone resonates with it, but it's very taboo and not a lot of people talk about it. So there's not enough resources online. So I'd really love it if you can, help me spread the message. And other than that, I'll see you in our next episode.